All right. Settle in, buttercups, because today we are going deep like Mariana Trench deep. And I'm not talking about some newfangled crypto scam or why your avocado toast is bankrupting you. No, no, no. Today we're tackling the elephant in the room, the screaming banshee in your social media feed, the thing that is making your blood pressure skyrocket faster than a Dogecoin pump. I'm talking about politics. And before half of you click away in a fit of rage, let me be crystal clear. This ain't about who I'm voting for, or whether you should vote for him. This is about your precious time, your dwindling energy, and that sweet, sweet cheddar you're trying to stack. Because let me tell you, if you're letting the political circus suck the life out of you, you're not just losing sleep, you're losing money. Big time. Many people ask me, like, what is the secret to making bank, to really building wealth? And I tell them the truth. The raw, unvarnished truth, but nobody ever believes me. They expect some complicated algorithm, some secret stock tip, some mystical investment strategy, and I'm like, nah, fam. The real secret is often staring you right in the face. It is about not being an idiot. It is about knowing what truly moves the needle in your life, and what is just, well, noise. And let me tell you, politics, for the vast, vast majority of us, is just noise. It is a shiny, loud, distracting object designed to keep you agitated, divided, and frankly broke. I know. Strong words, right? Especially when everyone and their grandma is screaming about how important it is, how vital, how you have to pick a side, or the world will end. But hear me out. I've been there, I've fallen into that trap. I've wasted countless hours, countless brain cells, arguing, debating, fuming, over things that, in the grand scheme of my financial freedom journey, mattered not one iota. So, let's rewind a bit. My own political awakening, or should I say de-awakening, is a story for the ages. I grew up in a pretty conservative household, right? Leaning the whole 9 yards from 0 to 18. I pretty much absorbed it all, like a sponge, John McCain, Mitt Romney. I was all in. I mean, my family, they were successful, they accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. So naturally, I just, blindly adopted their values. And yeah, I'll admit it, I was kinda naive. I didn't question anything, just parroted the talking points. Didn't look beyond the surface. Totally a rookie mistake. Then college happened. Madison, Wisconsin, a public university. Super liberal, super left, leaning, and boom, my world got rocked. My roommate, bless his heart, was the complete opposite of me politically. And this was during the Trump-Hillary showdown, when politics was basically a contact sport. We would sit there for hours, literally hours, spewing our respective parties' talking points, arguing ourselves blue in the face, getting absolutely nowhere. It was like watching two toddlers fight over a toy, each convinced they were right, neither listening, both just making noise. And the funniest part, we both realized after all that passionate, pointless arguing, that neither of us actually knew anything. We were just regurgitating sound bites, not actual, well-researched, nuanced information. Looking back, we just wasted so much time, so much energy, time and energy that could have been spent building something, learning something, earning something. Instead, we were just, yelling into the void, making social media posts that changed absolutely nothing. Nada, zilch, and then 2020 hit. Oh, 2020, what a year. That is when politics truly became a monster for many people. It ruined friendships, it tore families apart. I saw relationships burn to the ground over political disagreements. My own mom, God bless her, gets so worked up. Her family is split down the middle, texting each other for hours, just arguing. It is like, what are we even doing here, folks? What is the end game? Besides more stress and fewer holiday invites. And that is when it clicked for me. Two big realizations. First, most people, including yours, truly back then don't know nearly as much as they think they do about these complex issues. And second, these issues, they are complicated. Really complicated. It is not just capitalism good or capitalism bad. If you think it is that simple, then, respectfully, you're part of the problem. These are multifaceted problems, with layers upon layers of history, economics, human psychology, you name it, trying to debate socialism versus capitalism. I mean, personally, I lean capitalist, but even I know. It is not a black and white issue. You got families. It is a whole thing. And the same goes for healthcare, reproductive rights, literally everything. It is way, way more complicated than something being just good or just bad. You can't get caught up in those oversimplifications or have a knee-jerk reaction to everything someone says. That is a mistake many young people, and frankly, many old people make now. I get it. There are truly terrible things happening in the world, and it sucks. I mean, truly sucks that some people are born into absolutely awful circumstances. But here is the cold, hard truth. There are very, very limited things that normal, everyday people like us can do to fix those global-scale problems. You can give $50 to a cause, and maybe that buys a handful of meals, and that is wonderful, don't get me wrong. But unless you can get thousands or hundreds of thousands of people to also give $50, you're not changing the world, you're making a ripple, which is good, but it is not a tsunami. Most of my audience, bless your hearts, you're living in stable first world countries, and it is important to be thankful for that, and to try to pay it forward because it is a huge blessing. But here is where my blood pressure starts to rise. Most people who argue and post and rage about politics, they have absolutely no inclination towards actually helping people, or actually making a tangible difference. Nothing, absolutely nothing, irritates me more than people who argue endlessly and make a million posts about political injustice, without backing it up with actual real-world action. Let's take the BLM era of 2020 for instance. You know what most people did to support their communities during that time? They posted a black square on Instagram, or complained on social media about injustice. And you know what that does? That does absolutely nothing. It is just an echo chamber of self-righteousness. And let me tell you, you're not changing anyone's mind by yelling into your own echo chamber during that time while everyone was busy posting. I was actually interested in real action, real help for vulnerable communities. I spent years volunteering, teaching computer science in disadvantaged schools. Sometimes after work, sometimes during work, I literally put my political opinions aside, even though I didn't agree with many parts of the BLM movement. I thought it caused a lot of destruction to small businesses, and I had concerns about how they managed funds, but I still wanted to help. I wanted to perform actual service, to donate my time and my energy to make a difference. Outside of my own beliefs, and any time I was called out, I'd always ask, what are you personally doing to make a difference? For many people, just silence, because posting on social media, unless it is backed up with action, doesn't count. Any of us can make a small yet incredibly important difference in our own local communities. But here is the sad part, and the tough reality. When it comes to global politics, it is almost impossible to make big-scale change. It is incredibly difficult. I'm talking about large systemic change, not just a few people volunteering or a small local initiative. To make real impactful change on a grand scale, you need one of three things. Number one, massive influence, like a huge following. You're famous. You have the ability to influence millions of people. Number two, insane amounts of money. I'm talking hundreds of millions or billions or ownership of something big and important. Or number three, you actually have to be in public office, which often involves having many connections and a lifetime of dedicated work. Let me give you two controversial examples. Taylor Swift and Elon Musk. These are two people who can have large-scale, real change in the world. Taylor, with her colossal following and influence, she endorsed a candidate, and that likely swayed hundreds of thousands of younger voters. Whether you like it or not, could that change the outcome of an election? Absolutely now. Let's go to the other side. Elon saw a social media platform that he believed had a certain bias, but due to his immense wealth, he could just straight up buy it and alter the algorithms, which made real, quantifiable change and influenced a lot of people. These are examples, from both sides of the spectrum, of making a real, large-scale change that can influence an outcome. While they are doing that, we're over here posting a black square on Instagram, or putting a flag of the country we support in our bio, or going to a protest in the safety of our own country, far away from the actual problem that we're trying to talk to these politicians about, and they're not even listening. Or we're arguing with our three friends at dinner, giving $50 is great, but alone, it is really not doing much. Now, having a platform to convince 10,000 people to each give $50. Now we're talking about more big change. Maybe someday when I gain a huge following, like 2 million subscribers, maybe then I'll express a strong political view and convince 20,000 people, which is just 1% of my following, to change their mind. That would have been enough to swing several states during the 2020 election, which could have influenced the outcome. You see my point, we get so worked up, when in reality our personal influence is extremely small, for 99% of the population. You need a platform or money or to actually be in politics. Otherwise, your efforts and energy just aren't worth much. Unfortunately, so why worry so much about something you have so little control over? Don't get too caught up in just taking one side. If you agree with one party on every single issue, you probably need to reevaluate, go one by one, have conversations that are respectful, and go issue by issue. I think it is a sad reality when a lot of people seem to almost hate engaging in conversations with the other side, even when it is very much needed. Many people go into a conversation refusing to change their minds. When I was younger, I was blindly supporting the right, and some of it was just wrong, in my opinion now. I mean, I go more by issue basis now, and my views have evolved over time. I find that, financially, I'm more right leaning, but I've evolved to become more left on a few other issues, and I can go into detail in other videos if anyone would like. But I always try to understand people's intentions. I think most people have good intentions. People used to have respect in politics. I think someone like Bernie Sanders, for example, he may have different viewpoints and solutions than someone I might vote for, but I believe his heart's in the right place, and I believe that he genuinely wants to help the country, and I can respect that. We're all Americans. After all, when someone gets into office, I think we've got to root for their successes and not their failures. For both Trump and Biden, everyone was guilty of taking pleasure in seeing where the other side failed as president. Whoever wins this next election coming up, I want them to succeed because it benefits all of us, and I believe the world in the long run. So yes, there are some exceptions, but for the vast majority of Americans and everyone else watching this, you'd be better suited worrying about yourself and fixing your own situation than worrying about who the president is or who is in control of Congress. At the end of the day, there is always one answer. Improve yourself, put yourself in the best situation possible to not have to rely on the outcome of an election. If you're relying on their decisions, you're in a bad spot. You should have the desire to change that. You shouldn't be relying on forgiveness of student loans or cutting taxes or inflation going down. You need to have a plan and take control of your life and stop blaming politics for your personal shortcomings. It is great to have passion, just make sure it is productive and that you take action. Back up your words with real action and don't get so worked up about stuff that is truly out of your control. I hope this helps. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay boring.